Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'm Mike Ward, Vice President of the NATO Association of Canada, or NAOC. For those of you not familiar with us, our mandate is to ensure that Canadians know why NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is so vital to ensuring international peace, prosperity, and security for Canada and our allies. To a large extent, given our geographic location, for many years, Canadians were sheltered from the impact of world security concerns. In fact, when I joined the NAOC about 10 years ago, too many Canadians were not aware of NATO and its significance to the global community. This surprised me at first, because given that Canada was a founding NATO member, but much has happened in recent years. We all know the rules-based international order has been put under considerable stress, especially since Russia invaded Ukraine 3 years ago. Today, Canadians are much more aware of NATO and its primary role in maintaining peace and security. Certainly, engagement by Canadians with the NATO Association of Canada have reached an all-time high. Let's take last year, for example, which was NATO's 75th anniversary. Throughout the year, we highlighted Canada's role in NATO by working on events with a broad range of partners all across the country. For example, we worked with embassies and consulates, with schools and community groups, and with various military organizations. In total, under the direction of our dynamic President and CEO, Robert Baines, and his team of talented staff, we hosted and collaborated on 53 events with an impressive total of over 4,500 attendees. In addition to those events, throughout the course of last year, our editorial team published 81 articles that accumulated nearly 200,000 reads. Yes, that's right. It wasn't a typo. 200,000. You should check out our webpage. Not bad at all for 1 year, right? I'm delighted to share that things are shaping up for us to be just as dynamic this year. And that brings me to today's event, where we have the pleasure of speaking with Turkish ambassadors to Canada, His Excellency John Dizdar, who will be introduced shortly. Today's discussion will allow Canadians to hear about the importance of NATO to Türkiye, the strong relationship between our two countries, and the value of friendship. Before turning things over to the three moderators for today, Anastasia, Narayan, and Arjun, all of whom are members of our NATO Association team, I'd like to add that on a personal note, I met the ambassador shortly after he arrived in Ottawa last summer, and I have seen him on a number of occasions since then. I can tell you that he hit the ground running.
Good afternoon, Ambassador. My name is Narayan, and I'm an event coordinator.
And that he has picked up the pace even more since then. He is a great communicator, be it with Canadian politicians of all stripes, with NGO groups such as the NAOC, with business leaders across the country, and with the growing and vibrant Turkish population in Canada. We are fortunate to have him with us today. Thank you. And now over to Arjun to continue with today's program.
Thank you so much, Mike. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Diplomatic Speaker Series, exploring the partnerships and collaboration with NATO allies and global partners navigating today's complex and challenging security environment. My name is Arjun Yanglam, and I'm the Lead Engagement Coordinator of the NATO Association of Canada. Ryan?
My name is Narayan, and I am the Event Coordinator at NATO Association of Canada.
And my name is Anastasia Dyachenko, and I am the NAOC Engagement Coordinator.
We are honored to be joined today by His Excellency John Dizdar, the Ambassador of Turkey to Canada. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining today. Now, before we get into the Ambassador's opening remarks, I would briefly like to introduce him to our audience. So Ambassador John Dizdar received his BA in Political Science from Ankara University, Turkey, in 1989, and his MA at the College of Europe in Belgium in 1994. He also attended the Royal College of Defence Studies in London in 2004. And after joining the Turkish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, His Excellency served abroad at the Turkish Embassies in Helsinki, Abu Dhabi, London, and at the Turkish Permanent Mission to the UN in New York. Subsequently, he worked at the UN Department of Political Affairs in New York as a senior political officer. At the Turkish Ministry of Foreign Affairs headquarters in Ankara, he worked at the EU and the Cyprus departments, served as the head of department at the Policy Planning Division, Deputy Director General for the Middle East, and Director General for the Middle East and North Africa. Between 2016 and 2021, he served as the Turkish ambassador to the United Arab Emirates. And in July 2021, Ambassador Dizdar assumed office, again as Director General for the Middle East and North Africa at the Turkish Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Ambassador Can Dizdar started in Ottawa in July 2024 as the Turkish ambassador to Canada. Now, Ambassador, we invite you to begin with some opening remarks before we begin with the questions.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and Arjun, thank you for this introduction. Mike, thank you really so much for your introductory remarks and your kind words. The feeling is mutual. After my arrival, I'm also very much fascinated by the majesty of this country, as well as the level of friendship I have seen, I have enjoyed, including yours. And I'm not going to, I'll keep my remarks brief. I didn't prepare any introductory speech or anything. NATO is a fundamental pillar in Turkish foreign policy because we have been a member of NATO since 1952. Just, we joined maybe 3 years after Canada. So we have a long history in shaping of Turkish foreign policy. NATO has always played a significant role. During the Cold War, we were able to hold the southeastern flank of the alliance. I believe we did a very good job. And after the Cold War, the challenges continued in different manifestations. We were again did our best to adapt to those challenges, and to my country, Turkey has been a security provider for a very vast geography, from Northern Africa to the Gulf to the African Horn, Middle East, the Caucasus, Central Asia, and so on. And our capacity is growing, our economy is growing, our capability is growing, and our contributions to NATO is growing. So the period ahead, of course, is supposed to be more promising, and we have reasons to believe that it is going to be more. Although the challenges will be there, the opportunities and the capabilities will be increasing too. So let me stop here and let's dive into the Q&A part. I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you for your opening remarks, Ambassador. So Turkey has been a NATO member for over 70 years, witnessing the alliance evolve through Cold War tensions, global conflicts, and shifting geopolitical landscapes. Looking ahead to NATO's 80th anniversary in 2029, what do you think will be the biggest transformation for the alliance, and what role will Turkey play in shaping its future?
The alliance has been there for 76 years. The circumstances did not remain the same over this period, kept changing, particularly after the end of the Cold War. We have seen, very kaleidoscopic environment, and NATO was successful in terms of adapting itself to those challenges. So we are very much optimistic about the period ahead because NATO has proven its maturity, its adaptability, and its solidarity. Of course, for us, there are two main criteria in terms of achieving this objective. One of them is maintaining the center of gravity of the alliance, which is the full unity among allies, full and genuine solidarity among all allies, indivisibility of the security in the alliance. To achieve this objective, security concerns and interests of each and every ally must be fully taken into account before any decision or action is contemplated. NATO must remain the essential forum for such consultations among allies on all matters related to their security. At a time of unprecedented challenges, no ally should be left alone in dealing with the threats and risks it may be facing, including the most asymmetric threat of terrorism and all its forms and manifestations. Look, I mean, we are situated in the southeastern flank of the alliance. We are bordering a very interesting neighborhood. That's all known to you. I mean, if you look at our neighbors, Syria, Iraq, Iran, the Caucasus, and the Middle East below, Palestine, Israel, ongoing war in the Palestinian territories, North Africa, the Horn of Africa, and so on. The challenges we have been facing, not identical to many of other allies. So the feeling we had during the experience during the period we have been a member of NATO is relatively different from our many allies who are living in different geographies and facing different level of challenges. So when we face national security threats, unprecedented level, sometimes we feel that our concerns, our level of threat has not been received at the same level or the level we have expected. So if NATO will maintain its deterrence, maintain its posture, I think, again, as I said, all the unity is a must. Full and genuine solidarity among all allies is a must. And, it's the letter and spirit of the Washington Treaty, all for one for all, Article 5. So we need to mean it. The second thing is seamless defense industry cooperation. Allied defense allied defense procurement and trade efforts must be complementary, in harmony, and without any obstruction. In order to defend each other in times of conflict and war necessitates full military cooperation, including defense industry. So if we, achieve these objectives, I think NATO will have no difficulty in celebrating its 80th anniversary with a sound vision that can guide us for many coming decades as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your answer, Ambassador. My next question is that Turkey's approval of Sweden's NATO membership was a significant milestone in the alliance's enlargement, reinforcing the world's commitment to collective cooperation and security. As NATO continues to expand, how does Turkey view its role in shaping the enlargement process and ensuring that new members contribute to NATO's strategic goals? Looking ahead, what conditions or strategic considerations does Turkey believe should guide future NATO expansion, particularly in the regions of geopolitical sensitivity?
Turkey has always been an advocate of enlargement of NATO. In principle, we defended the idea of expansion, generating stability and security for a wider region. Of course, the experience of Sweden and Finland was very important for us. We work closely with our Swedish allies in the NATO. We had just the first meeting of Security Compact mechanism, which was established between Turkey and Sweden at the NATO Vilnius summit in 2023. Of course, such meetings will continue. So Swedish authorities already began displaying their commitment to the overarching principle of unity and solidarity among allies. It is, we find it exemplary. Again, I mean, from Turkey's point of view, as I tried to explain at the beginning, the indivisibility of security and dealing with all threats with the same level of commitment. Terrorism is a very important issue, a real and a genuine threat to our national security. And as a NATO member, as an ally, we expect this level of threat should be shared and supported. I mean, we can get the level of support we ask for from our allies. So that's for us important in terms of projecting necessary deterrence as an alliance. And so far, I think we had a good experience with Sweden also together with Finland. And that's the criteria we will be looking for in further expansions, needless to say. So I think again, the principle of expansion should be maintained, and the criteria should be well established. And I believe after the Swedish and Finnish experience, we have in a more sound ground, not uncharted, but charted waters, if I may say. So it gives me reasons to be optimistic for the period ahead.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. That was great to know. As we all know, that Turkey has played a pivotal role in NATO missions, contributing to stabilization efforts in Kosovo, counterinsurgency in Afghanistan, and maritime security initiatives in the Mediterranean. Now, Ambassador, given this extensive operational experience, how have Turkey's lessons learned from these missions shaped its current priorities within NATO? Also, as the alliance, reinforces its eastern flank and strengthens its Black Sea deterrence posture, how do you think Turkey's experience in past conflicts informs its approach to regional security, rapid deployment, and strategic military coordination within NATO?
Oh, thank you. As I said, I mean, we have been participating in many missions since 1952. Of course, with the changing security environment, I think it started with the Balkans. Turkey's contributions to the Balkan region have been continuous and strategically sustained for decades. Starting with NATO's initial missions in Bosnia-Herzegovina, Turkey participated actively in I4 and S4 operations. Turkey has always also been the largest non-EU contributor to EU-led U4 Althea operation, still conducted under the Berlin Plus arrangements. And most recently, Turkey assumed the command of KFOR from October 2023 to October 2024. NATO's Afghanistan mission, of course, where Turkish armed forces served as the framework nation in Kabul area, along with other framework nations, Germany, Italy, and the US, having different responsibilities in other parts of Afghanistan. But for us, also we offered our sizable civilian and military capabilities for the reconstruction of Afghanistan with our most comprehensive foreign aid program in recent times. So, we had a historic relationship with Afghanistan dating back centuries ago. Turkey is a popular country in the eyes of Afghan people. We try to get utmost out of this in terms of helping the Afghani people and helping the reconstruction of the country. But as you mentioned, Eastern Flank, as part of Forward Land Forces, FLF, we continue to contribute in the FLFs in Romania and Bulgaria, we are also assessing further contributions to the FLF in Hungary. In 2024, Turkey participated in NATO's enhanced air policing mission in Romania within the scope of Block 64 mission with several F-16s and a sizable personnel. We are planning to continue our contributions to NATO's enhanced air policing missions in various locations during the following years as well. It's in the plan, and we started making commitments in this direction. Regarding the Black Sea, the well-established balance with the 1936 Montreux Convention has been the long-standing legal framework and actually work very well owing to our fastidious implementation of the convention. We have also been able to ensure an effective escalation management in the Black Sea since the war against Russia's war against Ukraine, since February 2022. Despite this ongoing war in the last 3 years, the delicate balance in the Black Sea maritime domain could still have been maintained. Montreux Convention and its implementation holds the key for the stability of the region. We are taking it very seriously. So far, I think we have a very good track record on this. In line with Vilnius and Washington summit decisions, Black Sea Mine Countermeasures Task Group was established by 3 littoral allies, Turkey, Bulgaria, and Romania, and became operational in July 2024. This MCM Black Sea stands out an exemplary regional alliance initiative. We value this and taking the littoral states in Black Sea taking the lead on this. And I think it sets a very good example in terms of the functionality of the eastern flank. Thank you.
Thank you for your answer, Ambassador. Moving forward, I would like to ask a question about cybersecurity. NATO's security landscape is rapidly evolving with growing threats from cyber warfare, disinformation, and AI-driven security risks. Given Turkey's leadership in rapid deployment forces and its hosting of LANDCOM in Izmir, how is Ankara enhancing NATO's readiness and response capabilities? As AI and cyber warfare reshape modern defense, how is Turkey working with NATO to strengthen its cybersecurity resilience against emerging threats, particularly in critical infrastructure and intelligence operations?
Look, we need to take this very seriously. It's a growing challenge, and it will be even a bigger challenge in the period ahead. So if we take the necessary steps today, I think we will be more secure tomorrow. NATO has launched a remarkable initiative, this Defense Innovation Accelerator for the North Atlantic, and created a NATO Innovation Fund. Turkey has participated in this innovation fund from the outset with its defense innovation accelerators and many test centers used by startup companies for their newly designed technologies. It's a very hot topic for my country. We are not immune from these threats. Again, our capacity is increasing. Not only producing defense industry, the conventional defense industry products, but also cybersecurity and related to counter-related threats. There are currently lots of engineers, thousands of young engineers in Turkey working on this. There are thousands of new startups in my country. So we encourage them and we support them. I think it gives us, confidence in terms of dealing with any, any kind of these threats in the period ahead.
Thank you so much for your answer, Ambassador. Turkey has become a key player in defense technology, with Bayraktar TB2 drones and long-range missile systems revolutionizing modern warfare. With NATO increasingly investing in AI, autonomous systems, and next-generation military technologies, how does Turkey see its indigenous defense industry aligning with NATO's broader modernization efforts? As Ankara increases exports of drones and missile systems, how does it balance NATO interoperability with partnerships outside the alliance, such as in the Middle East, Africa, and Central Asia?
That's a very good point. You know, we have come a long way in terms of our defense industry capabilities. I believe the self-sufficiency in my country in terms of defense industry is approaching 90%. No country is 100% self-sufficient in defense industry in the world. So approaching 90% is a very important threshold. You know, as you said, we are building missile defense technology. Our 5th generation fighter jet, you know, Indigenous project, and this Khan, its name Khan fighter jet, I believe will be operational in 5 years, fully operational, and join our inventory. In terms of drone technology, well, my country is by far the #1 in the world today in terms of, you know, not in terms of numbers of production, but also how intensive, technology intensive they are. And now I think also we have a stealth jet propelled drone, which will have air-to-air strike capability, will be in the air and fully up and running very soon. So these are all, our strength is NATO's strength. Our production capacity is an asset for NATO. Of course, as I said, Turkey has been a security provider for a very vast geography. We have the second largest, most powerful army, armed forces army in NATO. So of course, it gives NATO another level of deterrence. So we will going to keep this momentum up and running. And of course, as I said, in terms of AI, AI is something we cannot escape from now on. I think the motto should be to use responsibly. You know, use AI responsibly. We are fully aware of this need, and you know, when we share the technology, we of course share it responsibly and contribute to stability. And we see the results already, for example, in the Horn of Africa, how now our soft power is working in terms of mediation efforts and providing stability in a very unstable neighborhood. In Somalia, you know, off Somalia, in anti-piracy missions and so on that we have been leading for a while. So the important thing is, again, removing any obstacles, restrictions among allies. It is again against the summit resolutions of Vilnius, Washington, and of course the founding Washington Agreement. So if we can cooperate better, I think everybody can win out of this technology, effort, investment. So that's again an important issue, important factor in terms of the agenda of Turkish-Canadian relations. we attach importance to increase our cooperation, defense industry with all the capabilities we have, all the expertise and capabilities Canada has. We see a vast opportunity there, and we'll, you know, as embassy here, myself, are doing our best to utilize this at a maximum level.
I definitely agree with you, Ambassador. With everything constantly changing, I do think that we have to and we should use AI responsibly. Now, with Europe's energy security increasingly under strain, Turkey has emerged as a critical transit hub, particularly through the Trans-Anatolian natural gas pipeline, reducing dependence on Russian energy. Now, as Turkey expands its LNG imports and re-export capacity, how does it see its long-term role in NATO's energy security? And with NATO placing even greater emphasis on energy security as a strategic asset, does Turkey view its energy corridors as purely economic or as a key contributor to NATO's overall stability and resilience?
We have learned our lesson a long time ago in terms of, you know, dependence on energy to a single source or, you know, limited source. So diversification has been the key in our energy policy. So again, we have come a long way in this regard in terms of diversification and making the land of Turkey as an energy hub. You know, Turkey has become a meeting point for pipelines, terminals, and so on, linking the resources in Central Asia, in Caspian Basin, to the markets in Europe. So we have, of course, we need to increase capacity because demand is increasing, and we have been investing a lot with you know, our LNG terminals and FSRU facilities, this floating storage and regasification unit. So the numbers of LNG terminals and FSRUs are increasing tremendously in my country. And also diversification means not only, you know, natural gas, oil, you know, presenting to the markets and linking the countries and so on, but also renewables. And, you know, it has been a very important area for investment for my country for the last one or two decades. Now, Turkey is, in terms of the share of renewables in its established power, Turkey is now in top 5 in Europe and top 10 in the world. Our 60% of electricity production is coming from the renewables. So, and the trajectory is pretty much, you know, upwards with a very stiff, sharp angle, and investments are multiplying. Our capacity is growing. We believe that renewables is future, and when you invest in renewables, you are investing in your future. So, of course, it will take some time for renewables to replace hydrocarbons. Everybody knows this. In the meantime, you know, maintaining the infrastructure in terms of energy transportation is important. Grid modernization is important. Pursuing alternative energy sources is important. These all present very good areas of cooperation among allies. Turkey again holds the southern eastern flank. It is a very important part of the world in terms of energy transportation, energy links, and network. We believe we have been doing a great job so far in terms of, you know, linking north, south, east, west, northeast, southwest. So we will continue, adding some more dimensions. I just heard the news about Turkmenistan. Natural gas is now will be going through Turkey to the European markets. Another agreement has been signed. These are all very good signs, and again, we will keep working on this file pretty seriously.
Thank you, Ambassador. It's great to hear and very interesting to know that Turkey is increasing its energy capacity. Our next question is regarding the Indo-Pacific region. With NATO deepening its presence in the Indo-Pacific, forging closer ties with Japan, South Korea, and Australia, how does Turkey view its own strategic role in the region? Given Turkey's history of military partnerships and defense cooperation in Asia, does Ankara see new opportunities for joint initiatives in maritime security, technological innovation, or defense coordination? More broadly, does Turkey see itself as a security actor in the Indo-Pacific, or more as a diplomatic bridge between NATO and non-allied powers?
Maritime security. Well, we have a long history of relationship and cooperation with East Asian countries, dating back to Ottoman Empire era with Japan and other countries, very intense cultural exchanges in the past. Also, military cooperation. The history is full of very interesting stories about that. Like, Ertuğrul frigate sinking off the shore of Japan, Turkish Ertuğrul frigate in the early 20th century. Which is, an important link binding to our two countries. Look, we are open to every kind of opportunity to increase cooperation. My president, Erdogan, today is in Malaysia. Yesterday, he was in Indonesia. The agreements which were signed during his visit also include defense industry cooperation and other, military cooperation agreements, I believe. So it is not something new. This interaction has been going on for a very long time. We fought together with the Koreans in the Korean War. We are one of the few countries lost many soldiers in the war in Korea. So we are not a stranger to the region. Maritime security, of course, very important. We take it very seriously. As I told you just minutes ago, we have been working and leading this anti-piracy task force in the Gulf of Aden, of Somalia and Yemen, which has been, important, not only an important route for maritime transportation, but also important preying area for the pirates. I mean, so fortunately, we have been able to secure this route together with our partners with a successful mission, in the past. So the answer to your question is we are there, particularly, our cooperation with the Central Asian countries is increasing tremendously in every field. We are there. We are looking forward to deepen our relations, cooperation, all these countries. We, I think, have reasons to be optimistic for the period ahead. And as I said, our capacity is increasing. As our capacity increases, the opportunities also increases in terms of, the contributions that we have been making all these countries in the region.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, for the answer. And it is very interesting to know Turkey's involvement in the Asian region. Now, as we all know, Turkey has been at the forefront of managing large-scale refugee movements, particularly from Syria, Afghanistan, and Iraq, demonstrating its commitment to regional stability and humanitarian support. NATO has increasingly recognized migration-related security challenges such as border instability, human trafficking, and terrorism, and has taken steps to address them. How does Turkey see NATO's evolving role in managing these challenges, and how can Canada and other NATO allies expand their support to Turkey's humanitarian and security efforts?
My country is very different situation compared to other allies when it comes to humanitarian issues, refugee crisis, and challenges emanating from the immediate neighborhood. We chose not to close our borders or adopt a very strict or harsh policy, because humanitarian dimension is very important in our foreign policy. Reaching out to hearts and minds in our region and beyond is very important. That's why Turkey is #1 country in the world in providing humanitarian assistance compared to its GDP. Turkey is #1 country in the world hosting the biggest number of refugees, asylum seekers, and those seeking temporary protection. It is no wonder that my country in such a position. We try to show solidarity with the countries in need in our neighborhood or beyond, in Africa, for example. We try to share whatever we have with the countries of Africa, particularly. We have embassies. Almost all African countries, maybe a few is still missing. I mean, we have 48 embassies today in Africa, and Turkish Airlines is flying all these countries, direct flights from Istanbul, connecting these countries to the outside world. It is important in terms of development, growth, and so on. Connectivity holds the key. But of course, it doesn't come without a challenge, particularly this humanitarian pressure. And look, I've got news for you. It's not going to get any better, not for us, not for other allies, because the projections are there. Demography is there. I've been in charge of Middle East and North Africa for a very, very long years in Turkish foreign ministry. So I consider myself familiar with the dynamics of the region. Look, the population of the MENA region will be doubled by 2045, 2050, reaching 800 million. So 800 million population will require at least 600 million employment. And according to the current projections, even 1/3 of it is very difficult to achieve. So people will be in need of jobs. And people will be looking for reforms. And there will be also the impact of climate change. The MENA region is warming twice as fast as the rest compared to the rest of the world. So when it comes to 2050, the average temperature will be 4 degrees higher than today. 4 degrees Celsius. So imagine the impact of this in a very short span of time in terms of water scarcity, electricity production. Electricity is important in terms of air conditioning. I mean, people are not living in the 1920s, 30s anymore. Everybody is used to the amenities of today. When you don't provide them, it becomes a problem. So of course, there are some other additional impact. Look at the ongoing conflicts. Palestinians are are being decimated in front of our eyes. Their land is being taken from them. Imagine the impact of this brutality in the period ahead in the region. So, at the beginning, Mike mentioned the rules-based international order. Look, it is very, very important for my country. International law, respect, morality, international law and morality, not looking the other way while atrocities are being committed in front of your eyes. It's very important, because in the absence of morality and international law and the rules-based international order, we are all in uncharted waters, let me tell you. So that's what keeps us awake at night. That's very important in terms of the security of the alliance as a whole, and our security as Turkey in the region. So we are talking about indivisibility of the security. So maintaining international law, rules-based international order should be the guiding principle for everybody in NATO, all allies. Without it, we have a problem, really, particularly in our neighborhood. So that brings me to the importance of solidarity yet again. I mean, the challenges we have been facing, again, daunting. Every ally has a motive in terms of participating in the alliance, expecting some returns from the alliance in terms of solidarity. Our expectations are not different from the others. We would like to be heard. We would like to be empathized in terms of the terrorism challenge, in terms of the threats our national security. So that will be again continue to be our #1 priority when it comes to the alliance, the solidarity. Thank you.
That's some really interesting data that you shone light on, Ambassador, and I definitely agree that rules-based international order is the way to go. Now, moving on to our last question, Ambassador. Canada and Turkey share strong economic ties with bilateral trade reaching over $4 billion annually.
Yes.
What sectors hold the most potential for future trade expansion, and how can both countries strengthen their economic relationship? And let's say, given Turkey's advancements in renewable energy, defense production, and digital innovation, and Canada's expertise in natural resources, AI, and infrastructure, are there opportunities for, like joint investment or trade agreements that could deepen economic ties?
Thank you. I forgot to mention about Canada's role, Canada's support in humanitarian aspect, the challenges we have, and so on. Let me pick from there. We have a very vast agenda, in terms of Turkish-Canadian relations, as we have 73 years of alliance relationship. More than that, I mean, 82 years of diplomatic relations we have. So, we have been working on many joint files, but Canada has been making great progress. My country has been making great progress economically, capacity-wise, and so on. So the opportunities grow. When it comes to our neighborhood, of course, humanitarian aspects, so on, Canada is willing and ready to touch the lives of many people, in the globe, particularly in my neighborhood, very generous in terms of assistance. And we have been able to host Ahmet Hüssen, just recently, Minister of International Development. He went to the Syrian border and discussed what we can do jointly. Syria, Iraq, and the other regions, in other countries in the region, going through some important periods, particularly Syria, I mean. So every assistance, every effort to join hands to help them counts. Of course, we have been doing our best to make Syria standing on its feet again, but it requires a collective effort to, in terms of giving Syria this very important jump start. And it's again, it requires a collective effort. And fortunately, our Canadian colleagues are fully aware of this situation, and we continue our exchanges on this. With regard to our bilateral agenda, what we can do, look, sky is the limit. I mean, you name it, we have it. You name it, Canada has it. And we are going through a very interesting times in international relations, in international politics, and that dictate us to join ranks and cooperate anywhere we can. AI, I mean, great area. We have always been, exchanging investments in this. Turkish companies are investing in Canada, and there is a growing interest in Canada towards Türkiye. In terms of employment, it's one of the important sectors. Critical minerals holds the key to the future and many growing new industries. Defense cooperation. At the start, I mentioned the opportunities are very appealing, and we have been working on this. Energy, nuclear energy is one of them. This has been, one of our objectives, to introduce new strategic dimensions to the fabric of our relations, so that our relations could be more resilient. And I think we have covered already some ground on this, and we are looking the period ahead with much confidence and optimism. Construction, Turkey is Turkish construction sector is number 2 in the world in terms of capacity. We built many things in our neighborhood, in former Soviet Union territories, Middle East and so on, in Europe, elsewhere. So we can join our forces in Africa to help, building certain infrastructure, necessary infrastructure for African countries, or Middle East, or some other places. I see some very important opportunities there. Look, again, sky is the limit. I mean, shipbuilding is one of them. Turkey is building the biggest fishing vessels in Canada. I mean, it's all built in Turkish shipyards. Again, I'm talking about capacity. Now we have more than 90 sizable shipyards in Turkey, and currently we are building 32, I believe, ships. At the same time, one of them is an aircraft carrier. So, for example, this ice initiative, icebreakers, and so on, we can offer very good opportunities in terms of, these issues. And mining, of course, important sector. And Canada is very active, and Canada's investments in my country usually concentrating on mining activities. We welcome that, and of course, it's part of energy exchange, exchanges in the energy field, but we need to diversify, definitely. So there is a lot to do, economically, socially, politically. The issue is between Turkey and Canada, lack of connectivity. I mean, we don't have enough, unfortunately, flights between our countries. This has been a very important topic for us. keep emphasizing it at every opportunity. We need to fix this problem, definitely, so that we can open up new doors to our business circles. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, for sharing light on different areas of collaboration. Thank you so much for your inputs and insights as well. With that, we bring our moderated discussion to a close. We will now be opening the floor to questions from our live audience who have been extremely enthusiastic in asking questions. The first one is, as the world's leading political and military alliance, NATO's Climate Change and Security Center of Excellence has a clear role to play in addressing the security implications of climate change. How can Canada and Turkey work together for climate change and security excellence in the global theater?
Well, we are part of this excellence center. We play our role. We are in full solidarity with Canada on this. There is no doubt about that. Again, I mean, climate change, something we cannot escape from. We need to adapt. As I told you, I mean, in my part of the world, in our part of the world, climate change takes its toll in a more severe manner than compared to the rest of the world. If we don't adapt, the consequences will be destructive. Socially, economically, you know, I tried to explain a while ago. Canada and Turkey, what can they do together? Of course, I mean, we are going to continue our solidarity exchanges about, you know, on this issue bilaterally, but it's not something we can solve together. I mean, it's a global issue. We need to work on creating awareness. We need to work on, you know, bringing more countries, people in, broaden the like-minded group of people on climate change related issues. For NATO, of course, I mean, the challenges before NATO is multifold. Climate change definitely is one of them. But I really don't know what NATO in Brussels actually, how they are dealing with this, because it's a technical issue. If you ask me, you know, what kind of decisions are being taken and so on, unfortunately, I would I will not be able to answer all these questions, but in terms of bilateral relation, it is one of the definitely areas of cooperation.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. Unfortunately, it looks like that is all we have time for today. We would like to convey our sincerest thanks to you for agreeing to have this conversation and for your thoughtful responses. With that, I will now pass it on to our President and CEO of the NATO Association of Canada, Robert Baines, for some closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. Narayan, Arjun, you've done a great job taking us through this conversation. Excellency, what a pleasure. I especially just reveled in your articulation of the value of the rules-based international order for Turkey and for Canada, of course. The fact that we do have resources, we do have a lot of tools at our disposal are nothing compared to what we can do together and within a framework of the rules-based international order. So, sir, thank you so much for articulating Turkey's, true valuing of that order and the realization that together we can do far more than we can individually, which of course currently is the challenge to prove to some of our neighbors, perhaps specifically to Canada's south.
Thank you so much.
And for those watching, I hope that you will join us in the future. We continue our ambassadorial interviews week after week. Please do follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. And of course, follow us here on YouTube. Any of those questions that we didn't get to answer, we'll also try to keep going in our conversations in the future. So, Excellency, we look forward to seeing you in the flesh soon enough. And thank you for being a great champion of both Turkey and NATO in our own way.
Thank you so much for having me. It was really enjoyable for me too.
All right. With that, this event comes to a conclusion, and thank you so much. I hope everybody has a great day.
Thank you.
Okay, the live is done.
Terrific. Thank you.